Apologies that we are coming to you behind schedule today. We have some technical issues, network issues and all that. But by and large, we are with you now. So thank you everyone that has been participating in this program. This is our 10th day of Read a Book Aloud with me. It's been an enriching, fulfilling, productive 10 days. We have learned a lot. I hope that you have learned at home. So today, what are we doing? We are reinforcing what we've done before, telling you more about what you know and how you can do it better, how you can improve read aloud in your home with your kids, and improve reading comprehension, reading fluency, reading literacy, and also learning poverty. So our main goal on this program is actually to reduce learning poverty in the country. Remember that we told you that what we are doing is contributing to overall learning poverty in the entire country. And the methodology we are using is the balanced literacy theory and also the World Bank learning poverty framework. In the balanced literacy theory, we've told you about the key qualities or factors that makes a good reader. We've spoken about the issues around phonemic awareness. That's the ability to recognize words, sound it, and be able to pronounce it. That will closely be followed by phonetics itself, which is the ability to pronounce it very well. That will be followed by vocabulary, ability to recognize uh, difficult words in your passage, ability to comprehend whenever you read, and also ability to be fluent in the reading process. So this is why these components, these 6 components of balanced literacy theory is very important to all of us. And remember when we started, we said there were about 11 approaches to reading aloud. So when you see people read aloud, they're reading aloud for those qualities, those benefits. Somebody should be able to read a story and comprehend it. And that's what the World Bank Learning Poverty Framework. So ability for anyone that is reading to be able to comprehend whatever he or she is reading, ability to comprehend, ability to be fluent, ability to pass these skills. We told you that reading is a foundational skill. It's a skill required by everyone in life. And the earlier we start doing that, the better. And this is why it is important that we start this with children. We start with children in nursery school and in basic schools. So today, what are we going to be looking at specifically? We are going to be looking at a read aloud methodology that is called timed repeated reading. I say that again. Timed repeated reading. The reading process is timed. The reading process is repeated. So in that timing and repeating process, the reader is being assessed on the type of mistakes he or she is making and the pronunciation that he or she is also making mistakes of. So all those mistakes are noted. The time that it takes to read is also noted so that we can determine the level of fluency of such a child. Remember, that is what this, and this is a very powerful methodology out of all the approaches of read aloud with me. So timed repeated reading, I say that again, timed repeated reading. So the procedure is very simple. A reader, a more senior person, reads to a younger person, or somebody that is new to reading, or somebody that we are assessing the level of his or her fluency. So the more senior person reads to that person then reads silently. He or she is timed. He or she reads the first time, she's timed, and we note the mistakes he or she makes. The second time, we time him or her, notes the mistakes. As that reading process continues, that person is going to be that we would then have improved the reading capacity of such a person. Remember, I said that we brought in some elements of monitoring and evaluation into this. We are looking at issues around fluency, we are looking at issues around comprehension and all that. So the readers are ready now. The readers are ready to read. The senior reader is willing to read, and the other person who is going to be helping us to time the reader and also to be noting the mistakes are also there. So if you want to do this at home, you also need to get somebody, a more senior person that will read, somebody that will note the mistakes from the reader, and somebody that will also time how long does it take for that person to read. Because that is where you will be looking at the level of progress that this person is making. So thank you everyone that is online today. Let's go to the reader now and see them read. I hope that my colleague that is going to help to time the reader is also ready, and also the person that will also time, that will also assess the mistakes, the spelling, the pronunciation is also ready. So please come along with me so that we can have the reading process now. Thank you.
Musa and Audu are friends. They live in the same area and they attend the same school. They also celebrate their birthdays on the same day. They go to school together in the morning and they come back together in the afternoon. Musa's uniform is always neat, while Audu's uniform is always dirty. One day, Musa said to Audu, "Your uniform is always dirty because you don't change it before playing football." Audu replied, "It is because I do not have another shirt to change into." "Then I will give you one of my vests so you can change into it," says Musa. "Thank you very much," says Audu. The following day, Musa gave Audu one of his vests.
Musa and Audu are friends. Musa and Audu are friends. They live in the same area and they attend the same school. They also celebrate their birthday in the same day. They go to school together in the morning and they come back together in the afternoon. Musa uniform is always neat, while Audu uniform is always dirty. One day, Musa said to Audu, "Your uniform is always dirty because you don't change in it before playing football." Audu replied, "It is because I don't have another shirt to change into." "Then I will give you one of my vests so you can change into it," says Musa. "Thank you very much," says Audu. The following day, Musa gave Audu one of his vests.
Read again.
Musa and Audu are friends. They live in the same area and they attend the same school. They also celebrate their birthday on the same day. They go to school together in the morning and they come back together in the afternoon. Musa uniform is always neat, while Audu uniform is always dirty. One day, Musa said to Audu, "Your uniform is always dirty because you don't change it before playing football." Audu replied, "It is because I don't have another clothes to change into. Then I will give you one of my vests so you can change into it," says Audu. "Thank you very much," says Musa. Says Audu. This one is Musa. The following day, Musa gave Audu one of his vests.
Again, the third time,
Musa and
faster.
eh? Musa and Adu are friends. They live in the same area and they attend the same school. They also celebrate their birthday on the same day. They go to school together in the morning and they come back together in the afternoon. Musa uniform is always dirty, while Adu uniform is always dirty. One day, one day Musa said to Adu, "Your uniform is always dirty because you don't change it before playing football." Aldo replied, "It is because I don't have another shirt to change into. Then I will give you one of my vests so you can change into it." Then says Musa, "Thank you very much," says Audu. The following day, Musa gave Audu one of his vests.
Okay. Thank you so much. You've seen them read. You've seen the younger person read. The first time she read, the second time, and the third time. So what we need to do now, please, my assessors, can I have the time? Now we want to know the time she's able to read the first time, the second time, and the third time, and also the mistake that she made. So for the first reading, how many seconds or minutes did she spend?
1 minute 30 seconds.
So for the first reading, our reader spent 1 minute 30 seconds. What about for the second reading?
1 minute 26 seconds.
1 minute 26 seconds. So you could see in that second reading now, she's been able to gain 4 seconds. The first one was 1 minute 30 seconds, while the second one was 1 minute 24 seconds. So she's been able to gain 4 minutes. What about the last reading?
50 seconds.
Now, the last reading, she's able to gain 14 seconds.
50.
Yeah, she said 50 seconds. 1 minute. 1 minute is 60 seconds now. So 4 plus 10, 14. So she's able to gain 14 seconds. So from there, her fluency, ability for her to read faster, had increased or had reduced by 14 seconds. So let's hear the mistakes that she had made. The mistakes. Initially, when she read the first time, she made 4 mistakes. The second time, she made 2 mistakes, and in the last one, she made 1 mistake. So this is exactly what we are trying to say, that timed repeated reading, the person that is reading or the younger person that is reading at that time will continue to improve. So it's important that we try this at home. Please, parents, you to try this at home. Read to your younger person, time him or her, allow him or her to read 3 times and also time the time. So that's for the first reading. Now we are starting the second reading. We will read another passage to her now, and she will then read it 3 times. We will take note of the time she read for the first time, second time, the third time, and we also take note of the mistakes she made in terms of pronunciation and the words that she could not recognize. So please, our readers are ready. Let's go back to them now.
Chief Okon was a very popular man. He was a very honest man. He lived in Oron. He had one wife and 4 children. His children's names were Tonye, Mary, Moses, and Ruth. He used to talk on moral aspects of life, especially honesty. Every morning he discussed with his children. He would advise his children they should always be honest in all respects. The 4 children would sit around their father and their mother. She also loved to listen to her husband. When your teacher gives an assignment, always be honest. Do not look at your partner's work, their father advised.
So now our reader is going to read, and she's going to be timed, and we're also going to be noting the mistakes she will make.
Chef Okon was a very popular man. He was a very honest man. He lived in Oron. He had one wife and 4 children. His children names were Tony, Mary, Moses, and Ruth. He used to talk on moral aspects of life, especially honesty. Every morning he discussed with his children. He would advise his children, you should always be honest in all respects. The four children would sit round their father and their mother. She also loved to listen to her husband. When your teacher gives you an assignment, always be honest. Do not look at your partner's work, their father advised.
Okay, that's the first one. Second,
Chef Okon was a very popular man. He was a very honest man. He lived in Oron. He had one wife and four children. His children's names were Tony, Mary, Moses, and Ruth. He used to talk on moral aspects of life, especially every morning he discussed with his children. He would advise his children, you should always be honest in all respects. The four children would sit round their father and their mother. She also loved to listen to her husband. When your teacher gives you an assignment, always be honest. Do not look at your partner's work, their father advised.
last last reading.
Chef Akon was a very popular man. He was a very honest man. He lived in Oron. He had one wife and four children. His children's names were Tony, Mary, Moses, and Ruth. He used to talk on moral aspects of life, especially honesty. Every morning he discussed with his children. He would advise his children, you should always be honest in all respect. The four children would sit around their father and their mother. She also loved to listen to her husband. When your teacher gives you an assignment, always be honest. Do not look at your partner's work, their father advised.
Okay, thank you so much, reader. Let's let's see the time now. What time? What time did she finish the first reading, the second, and the third? The first reading,
The first reading was 39 seconds.
39 seconds. The second reading,
37 seconds.
37 seconds. The third reading,
35 seconds.
35 seconds. Thank you so much. What about the mistakes?
The first time she did not make a mistake.
Okay.
The second time she made one mistake. And the third time she also made one mistake.
Okay. Thank you so much. From our assessors, in terms of timing, she spent 39 seconds in the first reading. She spent 37 seconds in the second reading, and she spent 35 seconds in the first reading. So from the first reading to the third reading, she had saved 4 seconds. She had saved 4 seconds. Thank you. In the first reading, these were the mistakes I noted in her pronunciation, aspects, honesty, advice, moral, and respect. So those were the first. So she made those 5 mistakes in the first reading. In the second reading, she improved to 2 mistakes. Then in the last reading, 1 mistake. Now, thank you everyone that is following us today. The approach, the read aloud approach that we have used today is timed, repeated reading. Timed, repeated reading. That is the approach that our reader had used today. Remember, for those of you that started this process with us, we try to look at the 11 approaches to read aloud with me. We name those 11 approaches. For those of you that are following us, I'm sure you can still remember those 11 approaches. But for those that are just joining us today, I can post the 11 approaches, starting from the one we read today: timed repeated reading, participatory reading, pairwise reading, teacher reading aloud, group reading, and all that and all that. I will tell you the other types of reading. But for today, we try to look at timed repeated reading. For those that are just joining us, this is a read aloud approach that helps us to assess the progress that our readers are making. So if you are doing this at home, it's very simple. You get a simple text and age specific text that the reader can read. For instance, our reader today is 8 years old and she's in basic 3. So we got her book, her basic 3 literacy book. So that's what she read today. The senior reader read that passage to her and then give it to her to read. So in the first reading, we try to assess the number of minutes or seconds that she spent in reading, and we also try to assess the number of mistakes she made, either in terms of pronunciation or in the terms of words she could not understand. We did this in another passage with her. In the first passage that she read, we found out that she struggled with some words in the first reading. She improved in the second reading and she improved in the third reading. But in the second passage, we also found a similar finding. In the first reading, she spent 39 seconds, and in the third one, she spent 35 seconds. So that is to tell us that she's been able to improve her level of fluency by 4 seconds in terms of the time that she took in reading that passage. She improved that by 4 seconds. Also, in terms of the words where she made mistakes or words she could not pronounce very well, there were 6 of such words in the first reading. That reduced to 2 words in the second reading and 1 word in the last reading. So from here, we can see that how read aloud can help us to improve the fluency of our reader, the fluency of our children, and also the level of comprehension. So particularly for this approach, I want to appeal to us parents at home to try this approach. You don't need to call her to read a lengthy passage. It can just be a quarter page that she's going to read so that you can easily assess the mistakes and the time it took him or her to do that reading. So this is very important because it is helping us. It's an instructional practice. Time repeated reading is an instructional practice for monitoring the learner's fluency. Just like I said earlier, we can use it to measure fluency development. We can use it to measure time condition in terms of how long does it take her to read those words. And also we can use it to also monitor the level of her phonemic awareness in terms of pronunciation, her understanding of words, and also um, vocabulary. Because when she came across some of those words, she struggled. So when you read like that and you see a child struggle with some of those words, this is the importance of the dictionary. This is the time you can then bring out the dictionary for him or her to check out the meaning and also how to sound those words. Remember, we said that the phonemic awareness enable our children to spell and to sound and to recognize words. So a child that cannot spell, a child that cannot recognize, a child that cannot pronounce words will not be a good reader. So this is why we started with the theory of read aloud, and we discussed the theory of balanced literacy model. With that theory, we will know that we need to work on the phonemic awareness of our children. we need to work on the phonics, we need to work on fluency, we need to work on vocabulary, we need to work on pronunciation, and we need to work on how all this put together, the balanced literacy theory put together, is what makes a good reader. Parents, like I said the other time, don't be deceived. Some people or some teachers or some schools are saying that once your child is good in phonics, she can be able to read very well. That is not true. Research had proved that wrong, that she also needs phonemic awareness, understanding of vocabulary, fluency, comprehension for him or her to be able to read very well. So as important as phonics is important to our kids, phonemics awareness is also very important for them to be able to read very well. So those are some of the importance of this approach. It improves reading. It helps you to monitor the level of reading. You can determine the type of words where she's making mistakes so that she can look at that in the dictionary. Then if she's able to do this, by the time she look at that in the dictionary, that increases her vocabulary. And the more she reads and the more fluent she is, that also improves her comprehension. You can see how all these things are related. Phonics is related to phonemic awareness, is related to comprehension, and is also related to fluency. So all these six areas of balanced literacy model, we need to put it into practice if we want our children to improve reading. So I hope that you would try this approach in your own home to be able to see why this is really very important. Please try it at home and give us your comments. Let us know what you observed in your own child. How long did it take him or her for the first reading, for the second reading, and for the third reading? So you should be able to count the total number of words that she had read and the number of mistakes she had made. Maybe in terms of the number of words that she didn't pronounce correctly. So we need to count the total number of words, count the number of mistakes. The total number of words minus the number of mistakes will give you the number of words read correctly. You can see now mathematics is also coming into English. And that is why we said English is a foundational skill and it's a fundamental skill for everybody. Now you can see the mathematics that is coming into it. The number of words she counted, the number of mistakes that she made, and the number of words she read correctly. If you add that, that gives you the total number of words in that. And if you can get the percentage error or the percentage faults in that child by getting the number of mistakes she made divided by the total number of words multiplied by 100. That gives you the percentage faults in that child. And you can use that to monitor the progress that this child is making over time. So you can see how mathematics had been brought into reading. If you are not reading at home with us, I'm telling you, you are missing a lot. You are missing a lot. So please try this with your child at home. Do this simple mathematics. Give us the percentage accuracy of your child. And this is why I told you that we're already bringing monitoring and evaluation into this. Now, when a child reads a passage, we can tell you the percentage accuracy of that child. By the time you know the total number of words, the number of mistakes, you deduct that, multiply that by the total number of words, multiply by 100, that will give you the percentage accuracy of that child. So once we get the percentage accuracy, we can also get the level of how percentage fluency of the child also. We can get that from the first reading, second reading, and the third reading. So by the time we do this over time with our child, we are increasing their level of vocabulary, their level of fluent reading, and lastly, the level of comprehension. Remember the World Bank theory, the World Bank framework of learning poverty. If we begin to do this with our kids, we will be reducing learning poverty. And you know that cumulatively, if you do that in your home, I do that in my home. Doris is doing that already in Kaduna. Thank you, Doris. I saw the other reading you sent to us. If everybody is doing this in Benue, in Borno, in Ogun Waterside, in Ewopin, in Lagos, everywhere, if we are all doing this, we will all be reducing learning poverty. Go back again to see the description or the definition of learning poverty. Ability of a 10-year-old to read and comprehend a simple story. You saw our reader today. She's not 10, she's 8. And you can see the level of fluency and the level of comprehension and the number of mistakes that she made in that reading. This is a product of reading. So the more she's reading now, the more she's improving. And I tell you, this child can even read basic 5, basic 6 literacy books with little or no mistakes. And you know the number, as she struggles with words and she looks at for those words in the dictionary, she's also building her vocabulary. How will such child fail English language in WAEC? How will she not pass summary? How will she not pass oral English and all that? So this is why reading is very important. So we can calculate the percentage accuracy of this child by getting the number of words read correctly divided by the total number of words. That will give us the percentage accuracy. I repeat that. How do we calculate the percentage accuracy from a reading? The number of words read correctly divided by the total number of words read. Moving ahead, we can even convert the time it took to read the passage to seconds. If she read in 2 minutes, 55 seconds, 2 minutes is 120 seconds. 120 plus 55 seconds give us 175 seconds. We can also convert the number of seconds to a decimal by dividing by the 60 seconds. So that can give us the total reading time of that child, the number of reading time in decimal time. And that gives us the words read correctly in 1 minute. So we can do what is called the WCPM, words read correctly per minute. We can also determine that in this reading process. So you can see the mathematics in the reading, and the reading is a foundation. Yeah. So apologies, we had a connection error there. So this is why read aloud is very important. Please put this into practice in your community, in your home. Now that we are at home, do this, practicalize it, and get back to us to tell us the criteria we look at today. Count the total number of words read. Count the total number of mistakes. If you are able to get this, you can get the total number of words minus the number of mistakes. This gives you the number of words read correctly. We can also go ahead to calculate the percentage accuracy. We can calculate the percentage accuracy, which is the number of words read correctly divided by the total number of words. We can also convert from minutes to seconds and all that. And at the end of the day, we can get the WCPM, which is the words read correctly per minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, wherever you're watching from, today we've been able to to tell you about another approach, which is timed repeated reading. I say that again, timed repeated reading. I hope you will try this approach at home and use this to monitor the progress of your child. So everybody remember that our program is read a book aloud with me, and we are doing this from now till 24th of April. Remember that we are developing a program that we want to use in marking the uh, World Book and Copyright Day, which is happening on the 23rd of April. So please come along with us in your home, be part of this so that we can all commemorate the Read Aloud, a book with me, the World Book, and the Copyright Day. It's going to be fun. It's been fun. Please, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, be part of this. Be part of this so that you can enjoy this fun and see how productive, how impactful is this. The more we read aloud, the more the reader become better, and the more he or she can comprehend, and we will be reducing learning poverty. If you want to read more around this, please Google learning poverty and you can read that. Also, try to look at the World Bank report of last year, 2019, which is saying that a lot of our children are in school and not learning. The title of the World Bank report last year is Learning but Not in School, Not Learning. The title is In School, Not Learning. So why are they in school and they are not learning? The simple reason is because of their inability to read. It's because at a younger age, we've not started this process with them for them to know things about the phonemic awareness, know about phonics, know about vocabulary development, know about fluency, and know about comprehension. All these are in the balanced literacy theory for you that wants to do further research on this. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, my colleague. Abiodun Abanu, thank you so much. Busayo Iwuyemi, thank you so much. Adebeshi Abasha, thank you so much. Hey, our big sister Antilado, thank you so much. My friend Ikeshuku, thank you. Doris, thank you. My colleague Adewale Balogun, thank you. Gold Ernest, thank you. Olabisi Memuna, thank you. Muhebs Sile, thank you so much. My brother Abbas, Ayomide Babs, thank you. Olushi, thank you so much. Thank you. Abayomi Alabi, thank you. Hey, my brother Soji Akinpetide, thank you so much. My sister Ayekpe Mutiat Ayekpe, thank you so much. My friend Tabitha, almost every day you are always with us. Thank you, Tabitha. I'm so much grateful, and I hope that you are putting this into practice. My brother Best Shabato, thank you so much. Oladipupo Oyewole, thank you so much. Oh, my wife, so Mary Ogunkitan, thank you so much. My brother, my friend Oshola Lua, thank you so much. Ejinaba Ibrahim, thank you. Okoho Ene, thank you so much. Oh, my brother Unotida, pardon my pronunciation, please, thank you so much. Oh, my brother Fumi, all the way from US, thank you so much, Fumi Orekoya. Ayo Idowu, thank you. Oh, my pastor, thank you so much, Reverend. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I'm grateful. I'm honored, sir. Jami Olayemi, thank you so much. And my sister, how are you, Ajasa Omotola? Thank you so much. Please, Tola, do this, put this into practice in your community. Everyone, please put this into practice in your household. Now that this lockdown, everybody is on holiday, we can all practice this. Until I come your way again tomorrow, I remain your friend, the initiator of Read a Book Aloud with me, Kabiru Abbas. Please keep reading aloud, keep reducing learning poverty. Thank you so much. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.